We do have some folks here from the VBC tonight who would like to share with us a special presentation. Mike Vodacek, the Assistant Director of the VBC, will lead that presentation, but I believe he has some other folks with him as well. Mr. Vodacek, we turn the time over to you.
And we're here to make part of the downtown master plan a reality. Annually, the VBC welcomes 800,000 people attending events in our facility, which generates an estimated $72 million economic impact for the city of Huntsville. $30 million of that current economic impact is generated from conventions, conferences, and group meetings. Attracting larger conventions with more attendees increases spending, which overflows into all sectors of our local economy, bringing new tax dollars and supporting many jobs throughout the community. A convention center acts as an economic generator and a public resource for the local community, hosting conventions, conferences, trade shows, consumer shows, meetings, civic events, social events, and other activities of both a non-local and local nature. An important goal of a convention center is to attract non-local events to the local area that otherwise cannot be accommodated by other existing local facilities, providing increased visitation and related economic impact in the local area. In January of 2015, the VBC received a report from Convention, Sports, and Leisure International, CSL, analyzing the potential enhancement opportunities for the VBC's convention venues. The findings of the report were intended to assist the VBC and the City of Huntsville in evaluating development and enhancement options associated with key event and hospitality infrastructure in downtown Huntsville. In their conclusions, one of which VBC has proven itself as an important asset to the community. VBC has hosted thousands of local and non-local events since opening. Much of this activity, attendance, and economic spending would not have occurred in Huntsville without the VBC. The VBC is an important asset to Huntsville and the greater region. An analysis of historical VBC operating data indicates that the VBC is generating financial operating results that are consistent with or slightly better than comparable facilities of the VBC's nature and size located throughout the country, based on CSL's extensive database of comparable facility benchmarking information. Inside and outside the box investment. Throughout the country, public sector investment in convention product development is increasingly targeting both the convention facility and its supporting visitor amenities, all geared towards enhancing attractiveness compared to other competitive destinations. Facilities that have limitations with respect to adequate hotel room supply, as well as other amenities such as restaurants, bars, cafes, retail and entertainment options, are often at a significant competitive disadvantage with other destinations that possess some or all of these amenities in terms of competing for non-local events. Healthy, vibrant, and exciting environs surrounding the convention center are normally viewed very attractively by event planners and can provide important advantages in marketing a destination and its convention center. The new mixed-use development projects and hotels that are presently being built or being proposed nearby the VBC will improve this aspect relative to Huntsville's convention opportunities. Huntsville is well established in the state and regional convention market, but beyond niche industries, Huntsville is somewhat challenged in its inability to compete in the national convention market. However, telephone surveys conducted by CSL with national convention planners indicate an opportunity for growth with an improved convention facility and visitor infrastructure. Our convention business is presently constrained somewhat by the facility itself. Characteristics of VBC's convention space are hindering Huntsville's convention market capture. These characteristics include substandard ballroom offerings in terms of size, aesthetics, and subdivisibility, limited amounts of breakout meeting space, service and back-of-house functionality challenges, aging aesthetics, and other such items. Our last convention center expansion was the South Hall in 1997. That's 20 years ago. In addition, the North Hall opened in 1987, which is 30 years ago, and it's never been renovated since then. Our kitchen was built in 1983 and is currently too small and obsolete for the number of meals it produces. As shown in this exhibit, the market analysis suggests an optimized convention center program that primarily involves added and enhanced ballroom and breakout meeting space offerings. This type of investment would bring the ratio and nature of these spaces into better alignment with the VBC's existing exhibit space offerings and raise the facility physical product to a level consistent with industry best practices and modern standards. A recommended strategy would involve dedicating the South Hall to exhibit space, which it is, developing the new 35,000 square foot state-of-the-art industry ballroom, repurposing and reorienting the North Hall away from traditional ballroom activities to a multi-purpose flex use, and development of new breakout meeting space to a level of 29,000 total square feet, expanding the existing parking garage beneath the South Hall under the new expanded space, and relocating and constructing a new kitchen to serve this expanded center. The economic benefits of this. CSL's economic analysis of an expanded and improved VBC convention venue concluded that the VBC and the City of Huntsville will reap the following annual economic benefits: 100 additional event days, 65,000 increase in attendance, $10 million in increased direct spending, $1 million in additional sales tax revenue, $4 million in additional lodgings tax revenue, which will include a proposed lodgings tax that we'll talk about shortly, and $14 million in annual economic impact. Other benefits include positive effects on downtown commerce and activity, increased quality of life for residents, new visitors to Huntsville, spin-off development, destination branding and marketing, an anchor for revitalization of downtown, reduction in lost local impact, which is lost business from us not expanding, and community reputation and image. In addition to the convention center space, we would like to build, we're in need of a new music hall to fill the demand for concerts. It would draw attendance numbers above those in the Playhouse and less than those in the concert hall in the arena. Our 1,955-seat concert hall has tremendous usage from local arts groups such as Huntsville Symphony, Broadway Theater League, Community Ballet, as well as many local dance companies. As much as we love the usage and support from the local community for these events, it does limit available dates for booking concerts and other entertainment in that facility, especially on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays. Many of our competitive cities in the Southeast have music halls with capacities of 800 to 1,500. Examples of those are Marathon Music Works and Cannery Ballroom in Nashville, Work Play and Iron City Music Hall in Birmingham, Soul Kitchen in Mobile, Track 29 in Chattanooga, and the Georgia Theater in Athens, Georgia. Our proposed venue would be a 1,200 capacity open floor venue with a balcony area. The venue can host concerts in both the standing and seating configuration. It will have permanent state-of-the-art sound and lighting systems. The interior will have an industrial feel with steel, concrete, and wood decor. This space will also be available for rent for social functions. Adjacent to the music venue, we are proposing a food and beverage venue that would feature a rooftop bar. We propose to open this area prior to and after entertainment and sporting events and during conventions that are hosted at the VBC. This space would also be available to rent for social functions. We feel a strong need to provide this opportunity for patrons attending the VBC. The magic question is, how much will it cost? The entire project is a $42 million project consisting of $35 million for the convention center, ballroom, breakout meeting rooms, North Hall renovation, kitchen, and a subsurface parking, and $7 million for the new music hall and food and beverage venue. The Von Braun Center proposes that we will pay for the $7 million music hall and food and beverage venue through revenues generated by those venues. We propose that the $35 million convention center expansion project be paid for by an increase in city lodgings tax. Judy Riles with the CVB will speak shortly about the proposed lodgings tax increase. As you see, the users of these facilities and out-of-town visitors who book hotel rooms will be the ones paying for these projects. We're not asking the citizens of Huntsville to pay for these projects. The Von Braun Center board and staff appreciate the opportunity to present our vision to you this evening. We are committed to continue to make Huntsville a better place and excited to transform the VBC into the shining star of downtown Huntsville. I'd now like to invite Paul Matheny to the podium to show you how our vision will renew the front door of downtown Huntsville in the Clinton Avenue corridor.
Mr. Matheny, welcome.
Okay, can everybody hear me? I tend to be louder than Mike, so I will do my best. It's my great pleasure to be here, Dr. Robinson, Mayor Battle, members of the council. It is a very exciting project, and it really will be a significant change to the entry arrival experience into downtown Huntsville. We're really excited, not only that we are able to directly address a lot of the needs of the aging facility at VBC, bring it up to contemporary standards to better support the convention activities as well as the general public. But I'm particularly excited about what this does to downtown and just the momentum that this will help continue to generate on the heels of the master plan being released. This really, I think, creates a significant bridge into downtown along the Clinton Avenue corridor. And I get to have the distinction of, although we're a big team working with the VBC for quite some time on this, I get to sort of pull the curtain on the design a little bit. So I'm excited to get to show it to you. And that's not the button. Okay. That'll work. All right, so just to quickly give you some context, right there in the center, running up and down vertically would be Clinton Avenue. And of course, you'll recognize the lagoon, the VBC complex, the city parking garage across Monroe. So and I'll keep my comments fairly brief. Mike did such a good job of describing the need and the sizes and volumes and what's specifically being built. But the first project to discuss is, of course, the convention center expansion, which would be proposed to be located on the spot that was previously the Medigold Dairy site. And you'll see that is the proposed area of work, which encompasses that current surface grade parking, as well as the existing North Hall and the back of house functions of kitchen and so forth. And that would be the resultant plan. And as you can see, the big blue block would be a much larger contemporary standard ballroom facility. And the other item that I think is noteworthy that is currently absent in the facilities, which makes a lot of events difficult, is there's really ample pre-function space. So currently when you walk into North Hall, it can be cramped, you get crowded at check-in tables. We're alleviating that by larger concourses and larger volumes of space for people to gather outside of the immediate venue. You'll see there's a new kitchen, which will provide food service for the entire facility, as well as breakout spaces that will support the convention operations. And this is what that would look like. On the far right-hand side is indicating the relationship to Pinhook Creek. And this would be the entry arrival experience coming off of Clinton Avenue as you're heading into downtown. So very different from what you currently see. Currently, you see loading docks and surface parking. And so what we're actually excited to bring to the table is a much more urban sort of park environment where people can gather for pre-events. We're dropping that parking down beneath. It'll align with the existing South Hall parking. So we maintain the parking need, but we're creating a more urban, pedestrian-friendly environment. Another view, which it would be so wonderful to be able to walk out of that ballroom space out to look out over the Pinhook Creek once it's redeveloped. And really that becomes, again, a signature iconic image as you're coming into downtown. That entry there that you see right in the center, that would be a new concourse and that will run all the way alongside the new ballroom straight through to South Hall in one long spine. So there's no longer going to be a zigzag configuration within the facility. It's going to be very easy in terms of wayfinding, very user-friendly with wide passageways and a modern interior. And that would be that entryway. So again, a much more up-to-date entry experience. The second project to discuss is, of course, the music venue, and Mike gave you a sneak peek at what that might look like, but I'll show you in a little bit more detail. The area in question there is, if you think of the corner of Clinton and Monroe, that's such a significant point in our downtown. It's just a major intersection, and it's such a moment. And currently, as wonderful as they are, that's the offices of the Huntsville Symphony and the Broadway Theater League. And so rather than having something that doesn't have a great deal of public interface on a major intersection, we're able to relocate those needs elsewhere within the facility to make way for something that will be more of an interest to the general public and serve a need for the VBC and the community. So the work area in question there is highlighted in red. And it, of course, as Mike said, it would be an 11 or 1,200 capacity standing room only music venue that could support other functions as well, and then a large pre-function area with outdoor dining or just hanging out space, but pre-function space, so that you can come to an event, find refreshments, that sort of thing, on premises, and then go to your event and hang out afterwards. And again, to show you what that will be, that's a really radical reinvention of that corner. And so creating another urban plaza there that's a collector of people and a place where people will queue in for the concert events if that's where they're going. And that's, again, kind of a progressive architectural piece, and we're really excited about seeing that happen. And Mike highlighted the rooftop plaza, which will be a great gathering point to look out over that intersection as well. And again, just some of the architectural character of that. And just as a comparative, you'll see the current Clinton Avenue corridor, where there's really not a great deal of public pedestrian-friendly space. So this becomes, again, that bridge into downtown where we have wonderful urban plazas and places where people can gather and just hang out and enjoy each other's company. And so we have some renderings of animations just kind of flying along Clinton, and you can see how the scale of that project will really change things and what that urban plaza might look like, feel like. There we're looking at a refaced North Hall, so that it again kind of knits together the architecture around the entire corner there, and just presents an entirely different image for the facility. And there will be a few of these. Taking a closer look as you approach where the music venue would be. So you have the pre-function space there beyond the glass, and to the right, that's where you would queue in to go to an event. If you go to Marathon Music Works or Work Play, there's a queuing line for people to get in, and so we kind of keep that traffic to the right-hand side out on the urban plaza, and should be a spot with a lot of energy and excitement. And there's Tom Petty singing on the side of the building. I don't know if they've booked that show, but it would be great. Anyway, so again, dynamic architecture, just something that is a real, I've said it before, but it's to become an icon. And then lastly, just a kind of a cruise through the rooftop patio. Great place to hang out before a show or an event. So while that's finishing, I will go ahead and introduce the final speaker on behalf of this group's effort, Judy Riles, the Executive Director of the Convention and Visitors Bureau. That down there.
Thank you, Mr. Matheny. Welcome, Ms. Riles.
Thank you. It's our pleasure to be here this evening representing the Convention and Visitors Bureau because we are so excited about this project. It's going to mean so much to our future here in the city. As Huntsville continues to grow, yes, thank you. As Huntsville continues to grow, we are projected to be the largest city in the state. So in just 8 years, we could be the largest city, and our convention center needs to grow along with that growth. The Von Braun Center is a major contributor to our convention and visitor growth, and it is the new trend for additional meeting space being needed for our convention groups. So often we call the Von Braun Center and their dates are already taken, so we do need this expansion to keep our current business as well as future business. The need for additional space is growing with our growth of our community in biotech, FBI defense, aerospace, manufacturing. There's so much going on within our community. You all have done such a great job bringing in new businesses, and we need to keep up with that business. And this is a list of some of our major conferences that we would like to see continue to meet in Huntsville. And unless we grow and have additional facilities, we may lose them to other competitive cities. The Global Force USA Global Force Conference, Exposure Youth Group is one that comes between Christmas and New Year's, which is the time of year that our conventions really need, or our hotels really need that convention business. So we have so much going on, and we need to continue to grow to expand what we have. Additional space is needed for some additional groups that we have not been able to host due to the lack of space, and we want to continue to bring in more and more conferences. Several of these have come on site tours of our community, but been unable to book due to the fact that we didn't have enough breakout space or either large enough conference space. Hotel business is on the rise. We're excited to announce some of the numbers. The Smith Travel Research Report helps us learn what our city is doing and how well we're doing in a competitive situation. Our average daily rate, we were excited to see that downtown is now over $100, $113.63, which I think is good news rather than to be upset about. The RevPAR in Madison County and Huntsville, you can see that we continue to have those numbers increase, and it's exciting to be a part of all of it. How can we continue to compete for business? We want the Von Braun Center to expand and are suggesting a lodging tax increase and surcharge increase, and that would be paid for by our out-of-town visitors. And we feel like that's a very important part of this presentation to make sure that everyone understands it is paid for by our out-of-town visitors. How does Huntsville stack up? We currently have a lodging tax of 13% and a dollar surcharge. These are a listing of some of our competitive cities, so you can see that we would still be within range to be very competitive. Several even smaller cities have larger lodging tax collections than we currently do. Bessemer, Leeds, Shorter all have 17%. So I think it's important that we go up and have the funding to make some exciting things happen right here within our community. The solution, we feel, is adding a 2% to the lodging tax with an additional dollar surcharge. And as I mentioned, this will keep us comparable to our competitive cities and also raise the funds required for this great expansion. The benefits, we all know that the benefits are going to be tremendous for our community, and Mike pointed out a number of those from an economic impact situation, and the expansion of the Von Braun Center will help us retain our current business as well as attract new conferences. And it's really going to affect the entire hospitality industry. And over 15,000 people are employed in the hospitality industry with our restaurants, airport, attractions and museums, and we want to see a continuation of more retail in the downtown area to help us bring in more of those conferences. They enjoy going out and shopping and spending dollars right here within our community. So we really encourage you to support this project, and we're excited to be able to be a part of it. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you, Ms. Riles. Council members, do you have any questions for any of those who've made presentations tonight?
Madam President, I understand this will be introduced under 14A tonight.
It will be introduced under the tax will be introduced, but we have some folks here. Well, so you want to delay the discussion until that point? That's fine.
Madam President, if I could make a request, I guess to Mr. Matheny, could your visuals that you had, could they be posted either on the Civic Center or City of Huntsville website so that the public can see it?
Yeah, Mr. Kling, there's a link the Von Braun Center will make live in a few minutes. If you go to vonbrauncenter.com, that will have those renderings, all the renderings in the presentation on there.
Thank you.
And just to be clear, 14A is a discussion of the tax that will be used to pay.
I was just making the point it was being introduced tonight. I don't think the public understands that.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. This is simply a presentation by the BBC. The tax will be introduced tonight, will be voted on, at the July 13th meeting. Are there any council members who wish to make comments or have questions with regard to the VBC expansion? All right. We will